Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, I'm just going to set up on my phone so I can follow the chat. Hopefully, some of you will be in here chatting with me. I'm sure you will be. Just got to find it now. Come on. Let's see, I should be able to hear it now. I haven't shared this on Twitter yet or anything, but oh, there you go. There you go. I'm here. I'm here. I'm live. So, I hope you're all well. It's absolutely sweltering here. I mean, I've got all my fans on and everything, but it's 32 degrees here in Spain. We've got a red alert, heat warning. Personally, I don't think it's as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was very humid. It's the humidity that gets you more than the heat. So yesterday was very hot, but it was also very humid. It was just horrible. I mean, honestly, it just really is horrible. It's saps your energy. Your brain can't work properly. My brain doesn't work properly at the best of times, never mind. So it was just horrible. You can't sleep. Anyway, today it is even hotter, and but it's not quite as humid. So hopefully that'll be better. I don't know. Just got to sit in the fans, have lots of showers, drink lots of fluids. You know, what else can you do? You've just got to get through it, isn't it? What more can you do? So thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Special thank you to my members. I've got a few words to say about the members. I've got a little bit of waffle, not loads of waffle, but a little bit. And really, in this video, I'm going to be talking, it's like a bit of a buffet of true crime. There's a lot of little things that I want to show you about cases that we've been covering, but none of it is probably enough for a video of itself. And then later I'll split it off into smaller videos. But yeah, I thought I'd come on, do a live. We chat about all these different things. We're going to chat a little bit about Nancy Guthrie, a little bit about Joshua Kerry, who's accused of murdering Anne Widdecombe, a little bit about David. Remember David, DV4D or whatever his stupid name is, who allegedly murdered a little girl, really, Celeste Rivas. 15 years old, thought to have only been 11 when he started grooming her. And she was found, of course, dismembered in the front trunk of his Tesla. Now I'm thinking about, so all the preliminaries and everything are taking place. We're finding out details, horrible details. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Nancy Guthrie we're going to talk about, because for some reason now her at the first ransom note released for Nancy Guthrie has been released in full, the whole text. Why was it not released before? Is it because they've still got no clue what happened to Nancy Guthrie, and now suddenly they're releasing this ransom note, which in my personal opinion has got nothing to do with whatever happened to Nancy Guthrie. But so that's another strange case. We're no further on, are we? Nancy disappeared in January. Months have gone by. We don't know anymore. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Nancy Guthrie, DV4D, or David, I'm going to call him David Burke. And he is a Burke, of course. And what else? Oh, yeah, a little bit about Joshua Kerry. A video has come out of him talking on a communism sort of platform. And I thought that'd be interesting to look at because he looks different again. He looks different again. He looks different in every picture we see of him. But also, it's interesting to hear him speaking. You know, he's not a thicko. You know, as far as he doesn't sound like a thicko when he's talking. So yeah, to actually see him speaking in person is quite interesting, isn't it? So that's what we're going to talk about. Nancy Guthrie, DV4D, or David Burke, and Celeste Rivas, of course, and her poor parents. You know, Celeste's parents, they've had to sit through some horrible photos that were shown openly in court of Celeste's head detached from her body, or her body was dismembered. And you know, David Burke, he was just sat there impassive. He doesn't give a shit, does he? He's a total psycho. I don't know if that case will come to a trial, because surely they've got so much evidence against him. He's going to plead guilty, is he? Or is he not? He's going to brazen it out and make her parents and her family sit through all these horrible details. He is another candidate for Twonk of the Year. Oh my God, we're overflowing with candidates for Twonk of the Year, and it is only July. So those are the things we're going to talk about in the main part of the video. You know, various short conversations about various cases. I just want to say, so I've released a video, you know, about, I want to talk about this horrible YouTuber who is trying to take my channel down. And I did release a members video. I was going to do a members live tonight, of course, because it's Thursday. Anyway, I was invited out to dinner. Luckily for me, you know, and I'm going because I've had, you know, it's just been nice to do something nice. But what I tried to do, so I recorded a video because I'd promised my members I would let them know what was going on. And so I did a video. I tried to release it as a members only premiere for later. And I would have been in the restaurant and joined in, you know, so although it wasn't live, with premieres, at least you can all chat to each other. Because I know my members, they like to chat to each other, don't they? You know, you want to chat to each other about things. Anyway, I failed miserably in that. I feel like I'm failing miserably in about everything I do at the moment. Honestly, I am really despondent because it just feels like everything I try and do, I can't do it, or it goes wrong, or, you know, just everything. Yes, not a good epocha. It's not a good time at the moment. But anyway, I did manage to at least make the video. I've released it as a members only video. If you're a member, you can watch that. You can leave comments underneath, and we will talk about it more on a live basis. You know, when you know, I like to do the members lives on a Thursday because members are used to them being Thursdays, but there's no reason that you can, you know, there's no reason why we can't do a live on other nights. It's just that people tend to turn up more on a Thursday because they think of it as, you know, members lives are Thursdays, aren't they? But every time it's Thursday, something always happens again. I do, honest to God, just you think, oh my God. Anyway, so if you remember, have a look for that video and you'll find out what's going on, what this spiteful little shit is trying to do, take down my channel. And I am trying my best to fight it, but you know what? YouTube, they don't really, anyway, YouTube don't really, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to fight these things. So I'm trying, and we'll see. I'm very trying, or so I'm told. So, but yeah, if you are a member, there's a video out there for you to watch to find out what's going on. And I'm sorry, I didn't manage to do it as a premiere or a live with a pre-recorded video, because I thought even though I'll be out in a restaurant, I could still join into it. So anyway, basically, it's a friend of mine's birthday. They've invited me out for dinner, and I'm going. I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Hope it's not too hot or cold where you are. Hope you're looking after yourselves. I think we have to look after ourselves. I don't feel like I'm very good at that. Keep trying, but failing miserably in all of it. But yeah, I feel really despondent at the moment. I just, when you just feel like everything you try goes wrong. But anyway, there you go. Could always be worse. What else? What else? I'm going to get going in a minute. But hello, you lovely lurkers. Hello, replay crew. Thank you to everyone who likes, subscribes, shares my channel and my videos. Special thank you to the members. Special thank you to those of you by Ko-fis, etc. I just sometimes when I am feeling low, the support that you give me, just makes me feel even better. It just helps. Well, you know what it's like. That's how we all feel sometimes. When we're down, sometimes it can be just a little act of kindness makes you feel so much better, doesn't it? Oh, God. Anyway, let's come in the chat, see who's in the chat. And of course, by chatting, you help the algorithm as well. And I love chatting to you guys, finding out what you're up to. Hello, Lily. Hello, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. So, Lily's telling us it's 24 degrees in Hampshire, England. That's a lovely temperature, actually, is it? To me, 22 degrees is better. That's my perfect temperature. But 24, that's not bad, is it? Certainly better. 33 it is now here, apparently. Hi, Tracy. Hello, how are you? You still working hard? Tracy's always working hard. Oh, it's 26 degrees where she is. Oh my God, Kelly, only 2 degrees in Australia. Do you know, 2 degrees? Oh my God. 2 degrees. Jeez. Now, it's not that long ago, I was whinging because it was so cold here in the winter. Suddenly we had a very cold winter here in Spain. Now, of course, that seems attractive because it's now the other extreme where it's too hot. As I say, anywhere between 20 and 30 really degrees I can cope with. So when it goes over 30 or goes under 20, it's hard. Yeah, we all forgot about him, Kelly, because, he's a horrible person. Really is a horrible, horrible person. And I think a lot of people realise that, but he's got a lot of fans, so a lot of people don't realise it. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Oh, gems. Yeah. Now, apparently you can send gems and sparkles, and Lily sent me 2 gems. Thank you, Lily. We still haven't worked out quite how it works, but it's just I just love the fact gems and sparkles. It just gives you a positive lift, whatever it is. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, Lily sent me 2 gems. It just feels lovely that I've been sent 2 gems. Oh goodness. Where are we? Alora, hello. So Alora's in Australia too, in Melbourne, but she's got a warm 8 degrees. So she's warmer than you, Kelly, where she is. Tracy's on a weekend away. I hope you have a great time, Tracy. Oh, so Kelly's in Melbourne, but it seems to be colder where you are. Okay. So it's faux fur poncho weather in Melbourne. All right, Kelly, just under 8 degrees. Yeah. Well, I love the rain as well, Alora, but the problem in Spain is they keep saying maybe we'll have storms. So it's quite nice to have a storm in a way because it lowers the temperature, it breaks the temperature. But the problem in Spain is, you rarely get like drizzle rain. I like drizzle. I'm from Manchester in the UK, and drizzle makes me feel at home. I love a bit of drizzle right now. But they say we are going to get some rain. I hope so, but it'll probably be chaotic rain, like real storm weather, and that causes its own problems, of course. Now, we did have a lot of rain this year through the winter, much more rain than we normally get in Spain. But I don't know, what do you think about all these? I mean, do you think it is global warming, climate change? I mean, to be honest, I've been in Spain 30 years. It's always been the same. At the end of the day, it's freezing cold in winter and it's boiling hot in the summer. That's the way it is in Spain. Um, some things feel different. We definitely had more rain this year in the winter than we normally have. Um, and at the moment, although it's hot, as I say, it's very cloudy. It's like very humid, but I think that's normal as well. But anyway, I am really rambling now. Kelly, of course, you're going to the UK soon, aren't you, to see the family? Yeah, I saw that. Sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm terrified of flying as well. But yeah, that man nearly got sucked out of the window, didn't he, on a Ryanair flight? I can't remember what happened to the window. Why was it? Why did the break? Can't remember. But apparently his wife got hold of him and said, if you're going, I'm going up. And so she wouldn't let go of him. Anyway, he was okay. He's okay. Do you think he'd be claiming compensation from Ryanair? I bloody hope so. You don't expect, that's why I never sit near the window anyway. Exactly. Get an aisle seat. Yeah, you need to get an aisle. I hate sitting near the window. I always sit in the aisle on aeroplanes because otherwise I feel too claustrophobic if I'm stuck in near the window. I don't like looking out the window because I like to pretend I'm just on a bus, that I'm not really on an aeroplane all that high up in the air. I have got better with flying. I have got better with flying. When I was young, I was terrified of flying. I think as I've got older now, I just think once I'm on that plane, there's nothing I can do now. Just, relax and enjoy it, you know. And a friend of mine that used to, a receptionist of mine, we were talking about it one day, and I said, "Oh God, could you imagine if if you were on a plane and it started going down?" And it just shows you how people have different attitudes towards things. She said, "Oh, you just have to enjoy the ride." I was like, "Enjoy the ride." But anyway, there's different ways of looking at it. I was listening to a guy talking about a near miss that an aeroplane he was on where the plane started diving. And anyway, it was all fine in the end. Obviously, wouldn't have been able to tell the story otherwise. But I always remember he said he looked over at his wife because he was on the plane with not only with his wife but with kids as well. And he looked over at his wife and he said she was just sat there as calm as anything. Funny how people have different reactions, isn't it, to things? Some people would just think, right, well, what can you do? Just accept it and go with it. Other people would go into a mad panic, of course. I don't know what I'd do, to be honest. I don't. I hope I never find out either. But anyway, Kelly, you'll be fine. It's so rare. It's so rare that there's accidents on planes. So it's just that it only takes one. So Kelly says a streamer on Twitch made me laugh. I said he'd be up in the aisle, raving, and it would be floating around it and entertain the kids. Oh, These are the sort of things, just awful to imagine. But what else can you do? You're going to go, aren't you? There's no other way you can get to the UK, is there? So, you're not going to get on a boat like Greta Thunberg, are you, and go by boat. So you just have to accept it. To me, I get nervous beforehand, but once I actually get on the plane, I'm fine, because I just think, right, well, I'm here now. I'm not going to get off it. So this is just the way it is. Yeah, what did you just do then? I've got this horrible feeling my dog might have gone out and done something that might have to clear up, but we'll see. I'll know in a minute, because something. But yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, really. But yeah, it's scary. Of course it is. Yeah, yeah. Kathy says it's at those moments, those rings with poison that you can take. You know what? I don't think you'd take it though, because I think your natural instinct would be to think right till the last minute you may survive, because people do survive plane crashes. So I don't think you would take that poison. I don't know, because you would think, well, if the plane lands in the sea, there's a chance that you might survive, or even if it crashes somewhere, there's always a chance. Our survival instinct is very strong, isn't it? I think it'd be difficult to take that poison. I don't know. So it takes 6 weeks to get there. Yeah, if you had the time and the money, I would look. I don't really like boat travel, to be honest, but I like trains. But you're more likely to have an accident on a train or a coach or in a car, aren't you? Of course, but would be nice if you had that money. If you had the money to do it and the time, of course, because you can't take 6 weeks out of your working life to go and travel to the UK. But if you could do that, if you were financially able to do it, it would be nice. It's a holiday in itself, isn't it? Just the travel time. Um, no. Okay. Okay, shall we get on with it? I've been waffling quite a lot, haven't I? So I've got all these things that I want to tell you about, little things about different cases. So I think we're going to start with the alleged murder, and we have to remember he is still the alleged murderer of Anne Widdecombe, Joshua Kerry. And we've how many different photos have we seen of this man? Let's see if I can get that picture up. We've seen so and there's a lot of controversy, different, you know, yeah, a lot of people saying, "Gosh, not the same man." I think it is the same man personally, but I think people can look different on different photos, but who knows? I'm just going to take off that banner. 84 years old. Again, an easy target. What's wrong with these people? Looks like it's somebody, obviously a man, somebody younger than Nancy, that went and either kidnapped her or murdered her there in her house, or murdered her, maybe she never got home that night. We just don't know. We have no idea what happened to Nancy. There's lots of theories. Was she attacked by a family member? Was she kidnapped in what's called a wrench attack? Or was it a robbery gone wrong? Or was it a deliberate, targeted attack like Anne's, and she was removed to make it look like a kidnapping. That personally is what I think happened to Nancy Guthrie. I think Nancy was targeted. I think she was the target for probably financial reasons, not to be kidnapped, to be murdered, because there's somebody has got financial gain from Nancy being murdered. I don't know who, I don't know why, but that's what it seems like to me. Or they had a personal grudge against her. And I still think that Nancy will be found, or at least her remains will be found. I do think we will find out what happened to Nancy one day. Anyway, I think I'll put a picture of Nancy up. I should put a picture of Nancy up, shouldn't I? So what's happened gradually, again, bits of information coming out about Nancy. And now it's being published widely, the actual first ransom note. Why are we only just getting to know what was in this ransom note now? I don't understand it. I don't think the ransom notes are genuine. Well, I think they're probably genuine in the sense of the person who wrote the ransom notes knows what's happened to Nancy, I think. But I think they were written just to make it look like she'd been kidnapped. But I don't think she was ever kidnapped. This is just my view. You might feel differently. We all have our views on what happened to Nancy, but that's my opinion. She was deliberately targeted. She was murdered, and the ransom notes, in my opinion, again, are just literally decoys, smoke screens, lead the FBI off on a wild goose chase. I don't think Nancy was ever kidnapped for ransom. But I could be wrong. Might all come out. Anyway, so what is coming out is the first kidnap note. Why don't they just release all the kidnap notes? Again, they're drip feeding bits and pieces. Like but we've never actually had. So the first full ransom note, I'm going to read it to you. In fact, I can probably show you. So it's Brianna Whitney. We've seen her before on this channel. She was working at a news station where these notes were sent to. So she has seen the first and the second ransom notes, but she never spoke about it because she felt she wasn't allowed to speak about it. Now everybody's talking about it. So listen to this. This is the first full ransom note that I'm going to read to you exactly as it transpired. You let me know, what do you think? Do you think these ransom notes are genuine? Or do you think there was never any kidnapping, as I do, and they were decoys? So this is what they say. Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom. Don't you think that's an odd way of speaking? I don't know. Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom. Just odd. Once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. Once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop-off location back in Tucson. If the payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be killed. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiations. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. So, what do you think of that? I'm going to read it again in a minute. I think this is weird. So let's not forget, the ransom note was not received the same day that Nancy disappeared. It was a couple of days later. And it was an email or emails sent to media, news outlets, TMZ, the gossip magazine. Wasn't sent to the family directly. It was not sent to law enforcement. You know, the whole thing is weird. That is not what happens normally in kidnap situations. Normally kidnappers, they like to be quiet, don't they? And they like to be under the radar. Not this one. This kidnapper wanted maximum attention from the media. And that's another reason why I just don't think it's genuine. I think it's just someone trying to pretend it's kidnapping, but really, Nancy, in my opinion, was probably targeted like Anne Widdecombe was, murdered, and her body's been hidden somewhere, and then these notes are just to make it look like she's been kidnapped. Anyway, let me know what you think, of course. Always let me know what you think. So, let me read it one more time. Very telling, I think, and very strange the way it's phrased. Hello, Savannah, we have your mother, Nancy. Why did they have to? We have your mother, Nancy. She knows what her mother's name is. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom. Once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. Once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop-off location back in Tucson. If the payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be killed. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. That's another strange thing, that everyone who I've seen appear on podcasts, who is, they're normally ex-FBI agents, aren't they? Who have had anything to do with, kidnaps and things like that. They say there is always an avenue for contact. You know, there's always a way that they say you can contact us through this or that. It's very unusual for them to say you will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiations. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. So, yeah, I don't know what about you, but to me it just feels like a load of rubbish, that. And then, of course, don't forget, I mean, we haven't officially seen the full second ransom note yet. But in the second ransom note, you know, in here they're threatening to kill Nancy unless the money's received. But apparently in the second one, it was like, oh, sorry, oops, she died. You know, it's like, oopsie, you know, we didn't mean it, but she died. We didn't realise how ill she was. We just thought we'd let you know. Now, would they really have done, if they were cold-hearted kidnappers who are threatening to murder her if the money's not received within 7 days, are they really going to feel sorry about the fact she died? And why would they even say she died? You know, wouldn't they still try and get some money out of them? So it's all a load of balderdash, in my opinion. A load of cojones. I shouldn't try and swear in Spanish on YouTube because they pick up Spanish swear words as well. But anyway, again, let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you think Nancy was kidnapped? Do you think Nancy's dead? Or do you think, you know, she may still be alive somewhere? What do you think? Ah, that is the $6 million question, isn't it? What happened to Nancy Guthrie? Where is she? I mean, at least we know with Anne Widdecombe, we know what happened to her. There's a suspect in custody. But as far as Nancy's concerned, we have no clue. Still, we have no clue. Whoever did whatever to Nancy is still walking around and knows where Nancy is. And maybe they're going to do it to somebody else. You know? Horrible. But at least in Anne's case, we do have a suspect who's likely, you know, it seems quite likely that they are the perpetrator. They're in custody. At least, you know, it would be horrible to Anne's family to know what's happened to her, but at least they do know what's happened to her. Imagine if Anne had just disappeared. There's a load of blood in the kitchen, but her body wasn't there, and he took the body off and hid it somewhere, and nobody knew what had happened to Anne or where she'd disappeared to. You know, it's horrible, isn't it? It's got to be the worst thing. It's horrible to know that Anna's been murdered. But, you know, just think if it was your own mother, your own grandma, your sister, whether it was you, you know, imagine never knowing where this person is or what has actually happened to them, except for a load of blood left behind. And of course, that's what we had at Nancy's. There was all that blood on the front porch. I mean, not so much blood that she couldn't have lived without that blood. It wasn't so much blood that made it certain she was dead. But it doesn't look good, does it, when there's a load of blood spatter? You know, we have a lot of blood in our bodies, of course, but, you know, we can lose quite a lot of it. But still not good, is it? Something happened to Nancy. Something terrible happened to her. Okay, so that was the other little thing I wanted to tell you about. And, of course, any developments on Nancy's case. I mean, there's a lot of chatter about Nancy's case, but no proper developments, are there? So that was something that's the first ransom note. So then just to finish, I just wanted to talk to you about Celeste Rivas. I mean, this is another horrible crime, isn't it? You're talking about with Celeste, a young girl, a little girl, really. Apparently, when she first started Let me just put some photos of Celeste up. When Celeste Burke, who was like, he is a complete Burke, he's a pretentious. Sorry, let me share this. A pretentious pseudo-intellectual, in my opinion, who could only impress a young girl. Only young girls would be impressed with David, because older women, they, or even older girls, they would see through him in a shop, because he just talks a load of rubbish, doesn't he? So, as I say, pseudo-intellectual. In his songs, he's preaching about this, that, and the other, but there's no substance to David Burke. Just all pretension, in my opinion. And having said that, he was popular. He was doing well. He was on the verge of superstardom. And I think that's basically why he started thinking, oh, Celeste is a liability. Yeah, he's a twonk, Lily, you're right. Celeste became a liability, didn't she? Because he loved grooming an 11-year-old girl, and he loved, abusing her, really. I mean, at the end of the day, what David did with Celeste was abuse, because he's an adult and she was a child. And she put some of the messages that came from Celeste was saying to him, all we ever do is have sex all the time. I want more for my life. Celeste was growing older. She was getting more mature. She was starting to question what was happening between them. And he didn't like it. And also because he was on the verge of superstardom, and he was just about to start his European tour, American tour. He was coming to Spain. He had tour dates all over Europe planned. And then Celeste started getting a little bit bolshy, didn't she? And started, having her own thoughts. How dare she? So, for those of you who don't know about this case, poor Celeste was found dismembered in the front of his Tesla. The Tesla that had been towed away because it was just left parked on the street, and it was towed away to a yard where they tow cars to, and it smelt. And so the owners rang the police, and the police went and found this poor girl dismembered in the car. Anyway, so what's been happening basically is the sort of the trial has started, or at least the preliminaries of the trial have started. And so we're getting information, and poor Celeste's family have to sit there, and apparently they had to even look at the photos of their daughter's head that was found in the trunk, and the different parts of their limbs and things like that. How awful. Imagine as a parent, looking at those things and knowing that that was your daughter who'd been cut up by this twonk. Or he's innocent till he's proven guilty. We have to remember that, don't we? This pretentious twat. Honest God, it just makes me so angry. A young girl like that. Anyway. So Celeste won't get, her life. She'll never get married. She'll never have children. I mean, he's not going to either, because he'll probably be in prison for the rest. Apparently, air fresheners. But you can't have a body in the front of your car for the amount of months Celeste's body is reputedly was in his car without it smelling. Don't matter how many air fresheners you put in, for God's sake. You know, just he's a thicko. And why did he keep her? You know, why did he not dispose of her remains? Anyway, so the investigator, Chelsea Murillo, is a criminalist with the LAPD, testified he responded to the Hollywood tow yard where Rivas Hernandez's mutilated body was found inside the black Tesla registered to David Burke on September the 9th, 2025. The body had already been taken to the medical examiner's office, but she said she noticed a strong odor coming from the car, adding that it resembled the smell. When she approached the vehicle, she saw multiple air fresheners inside the vehicle. She gathered at least 11 air fresheners, also in the rear seats, also in the front area. She then began marking red stains inside the vehicle. She used a chemical reagent called I can't pronounce that. That's probably like luminol or that similar thing, to confirm the red spots were blood, and she found invisible blood traces, and she conducted a chemical test called Blue Star. And this is luminol based. It reacts with iron in hemoglobin to produce a bright blue luminescent glow, in allowing investigators to confirm the existence of blood. And prosecutors apparently presented a photo of the lower compartment glowing in blue light. She also testified the side panelist, and she confirmed some of the Sofa Celeste's DNA. Let's see if I can. See if I can show this video. Let's see. Oh, I might be able to show this video.
Annabelle Sedano, Colleen, and Michael are off tonight. David is now facing sexual abuse and murder charges in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Prosecutors are presenting a summary of the evidence in the case to show the judge there is enough evidence for a jury trial.
Investigative reporter Eric Leonard now.
It's very difficult for any of us to imagine what Celeste Rivas Hernandez's parents went through today as they sat in court and listened to a detective testify on the witness stand while showing photos about the way that their daughter's body was discovered at that tow yard in Hollywood, the condition of her remains, and the beginning stages of this investigation. Prosecutors today really focused on those first few days of the investigation. What detectives found, the clues, they say, even in those first hours, began to point them towards the singer known as David and the home he was living in the Hollywood Hills. These sketches from court show David, whose legal name is David Burke, sitting in the 9th floor courtroom today as prosecutors showed photos of the way 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered. His parents sat in the front row, Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman turned around and warned them about what was about to be shown, and at one point suggested they put their heads down. Celeste was found last September in the front trunk of a black Tesla in Hollywood. The car, of course, registered to David Burke. And these photos, just part of the presentation of evidence, where the prosecution multiple clues pointed immediately towards Burke. Among them, electronic data that shows Burke was the last person to drive his Tesla on July 29th, 2025. That was about a month before Celeste was found. Then search warrants led to online purchase records that the detective says
chainsaws, a body bag, and
items were shown in court. The detective explained how some of the equipment was delivered by Amazon, DoorDash, and Postmates. No blood was found on those saws. It turns out they weren't tested for DNA. Earlier, an LA County Sheriff's deputy testified about a welfare check that he was sent to in a home in West Hollywood where Burke was staying. The home was searched for Celeste. She wasn't there. But at one point, body-worn video captured Burke saying that Rivas Hernandez had told him she was 18 years old, and then he learned she was 13 years old. And key to the prosecution's presentation here, they say at the time of the recording, Burke was already involved in an intimate relationship with the teen. On the witness stand this afternoon, a music industry financial executive who managed part of Burke's financial empire. The reason he was on the stand is that prosecutors are trying to show that there's evidence to prove that David, the singer, stood to lose potentially millions of dollars if he became an accused sex offender, which is what they say Rivas Hernandez was threatening to do in text messages. This goes to the potential motive of the case. The music executive said Burke had earned somewhere between $10 and $11 million at the time that Rivas's body was found. Preliminary hearings are usually short. This one's expected to go on for a couple more days. Live at criminal courts downtown, I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News. Back to you.
And Eric, what more can we expect moving forward during the week in this hearing?
Well, there's a lot more to this investigation beyond the discovery of the remains, which we heard a lot about today, and some of those initial electronic clues that pointed towards Burke, at least according to the police department. There's a lot more forensic work that was done to learn how Celeste died, the mechanisms, what they were able to learn about how she wound up in that Tesla, and some of the other things that happened that the police are saying amounts to a solid murder case. Plus, there's a lot of stuff about the relationship between Burke and Rivas, we should say the alleged relationship here, that prosecutors plan to call another detective to testify about probably as soon as tomorrow.
And our breaking news coverage continues. The preliminary hearing in the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And at the center of this case is singer David.
Joining us now to talk more about this case, Manny Medrano, attorney and federal prosecutor. Manny, as always,
Oh no, I'm still muted. Sorry, I don't even know. I didn't press mute, so I have no bloody clue how that became to muted, but thanks for letting me know. Anyway, I was just saying, it's important that we get outraged about these cases, because when the day comes that we're not outraged anymore, what has society come to then? These victims, they deserve to be talked about. We can't avoid talking about things just because it is unpalatable. It hurts the soul as well, doesn't it? I don't know, sometimes it is depressing, of course it is. Sometimes, these victims, I think about them all the time. Don't know if that's a healthy thing, but I just can't help it. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing, caring about them, all of them. Preston Davey, Celeste, Anne Widdecombe, whoever it is, anyone whose life is taken from them. These twonks do not have the right to do what they did, and they deserve everything that's coming to them. And they are going to, and I'm going to put up my hell emoji. This is where they're going. If not in this world, in the next world, they're going to hell. Okay, I've got to go. So listen, take care of yourselves. Thank you for everything. Thank you for liking, subscribing, all those things you do to support my channel. Thank you for the jewels. Lily sent me, I've got, let me just put that up again. Oh, where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. Yeah. Gems. Lily sent me 2 gems. Thank you so much. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. Look after yourselves. Love you loads. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you. Bye.